Hi, my name is Jacob Henderson. I'm the co-founder and technical director of EasyDex, and I'd like to tell you about our EasyLife blockchain system. EasyDex is a development team creating a system of interoperating platforms that will bring the benefits of blockchain technology to many fields through our unique interoperating blockchain system. EasyDex was founded in 2017 by my wife Trepka and I, and together we've built a global team with diverse skills who would like to use their skills to help solve many of the problems that we see in the world today utilizing blockchain technology. One of the biggest problems we see in the world today has to do with the centralization of things on the internet. In the early days of the internet, it was almost a bastion for free speech because anybody could create a website and say what they had on their mind. Lots of new ideas were presented to the public, and there wasn't a lot of interaction back then. It was all static web pages, but everybody was free to say whatever they wanted. Now you can still do that, but the past 10 to 12 years or so, with the rise of social media and user-created media sites, things like Facebook and YouTube, most of the traffic on the internet has been concentrated into just a few sites. It has led to some really large tech giants, we call them, who these days they have a whole lot of power. Now, one of the problems with these tech giants is they collect a lot of data on their users. Now, they do this for the purpose of targeted advertising, which is an important part of their business model. But revelations from people like Edward Snowden and WikiLeaks and others have shown that this data that they collect ends up in the hands of people who don't necessarily have our best intentions and probably don't want having that much information on us. Here more recently, one of the biggest problems we've been seeing is these tech giants have been, this gives them a lot of power, and they've been using this power to silence voices that they don't necessarily agree with. And the internet is no longer becoming the bastion of free speech that it was when it was first created. Particularly, they're using this power to promote their own political agendas. And even the governments have been noticing this problem and been discussing different legislation they can pass, different laws they can pass to limit the power of these centralized corporations. Now, when it comes, here, one of the latest things here is blockchain technology provides a lot of decentralized options instead. However, the problem with almost every current implementation of blockchain technology, well, for one thing, they're not interoperable. They haven't come up with ways for one blockchain to work with another blockchain. So it's all kind of splintered all over the place, A lot of these, one of the big problems is to do with scalability. Like, take Ethereum, for instance. The CryptoKitties, if you're not aware, the CryptoKitties was an application built over the Ethereum blockchain that it got really popular, and that many users using it just crashed the whole system. And even today, Ethereum is pushed to its limits. It's constantly at the limit of what it can do. Other platforms that are a little more recent, such as EOS, they don't have the scalability issue, but a lot of the ways they solve that, they sacrifice the decentralized nature of it, to where, okay, so like EOS only has 21 block producers, and to be a block producer, you have to have so many resources on your node that it requires a large corporate budget that runs into the 5 figures a month just to run a block producer on the network, and it prices it out of the hands of almost everybody. Which, if you need a large corporate budget, are we really doing anything to solve the problems of having tech giants? I would say that it's just maybe making new people the tech giants. But these problems also, all these platforms have another major issue that really prevents widespread adoption, and that's the usability factor. There's a very steep learning curve with using any of these systems that really prevents a lot of people from using them. Things like Facebook or Twitter, they're so easy to use. You can jump on, create an account, and be tweeting or posting in 5 minutes, and they make it all really easy to use. Sure, there's problems with them, but people use them because they're easy to use, and if it's too hard to use, people don't want to learn it. So, with our system, we wanted to maintain the benefits that some of these centralized technologies have. So, for instance, people use Facebook because their whole family and all their friends are on Facebook, and that's where they can get to know them. And so we've incorporated aspects of this to make sure that we could maintain that aspect and are operable. The systems that we're building all work together into one coherent whole right out of the box. That's how they work. They're scalable because since we give each application its own blockchain, then they don't get clogged up. You don't have to wait hours for your transaction to get into a block and all this other stuff. You don't have to worry about the system crashing. And we didn't sacrifice decentralization for it, since each blockchain, which there will be who knows how many, there will be lots, then it won't take a whole lot to run a node, maybe cost you $20 to $50, depending on the platform, to run a node on it. And it gives a lot of people the chance to be a block producer and participate in it, in the decentralized economy there. But the biggest thing is that we wanted to make sure to make it easy for the end user. Don't want to make it too complicated. Our goal is to make it simple enough for our grandparents to use. When we're building something, we look at it and say, could my grandmother figure out how to do that on her own? And if the answer is no, then we keep working on it until it is that easy. However, we didn't sacrifice the decentralized nature at all. There is no centralized authority to silence voices. You still have your freedom of speech. Nobody is mining your data. And one thing we haven't really discussed yet, but we're more secure than the centralized platforms. Since with the key management system that we use, it's all, your keys are based on your cryptret, They're cryptographically derived based on your password, and they're stored encrypted in your browser cache. So when you log in, there's no store of passwords anywhere. Like LinkedIn has had a big problem with this. So a lot of other sites. I think Yahoo had a really big problem with this at one point, where their databases got hacked and exposed all the passwords of most of their users, got out there, and it causes a lot of problems. Well, you don't have to worry about that with the EasyLife system, because your password isn't stored anywhere. When you enter your password, all it does is it so that it knows what your keys are based on your password, and it signs transactions before they leave your browser. None of your information actually leaves your computer. So that's a huge benefit. So, what is EasyLife? EasyLife is a system of decentralized applications, also known as dApps, that each have their own custom-built blockchain. One of the keys to the way we came up with the interoperability, I already mentioned about how your keys are safe utilizing our system. And since all the keys are the same on each blockchain, then that's the key to interoperability. You know, it makes them work together, and it's easy for everything to mesh up. Our decentralized exchange platform, which is EasyDex, will serve as the economic hub of the system, while the social platform that we're currently building right now, called EasySocial, will function as the social hub of the system. So what do I mean by economic hub of the system? Instead of each chain will produce their own coins, but for it all to work together as one system, it all has to go somewhere. So it all goes onto our decentralized exchange platform, EasyDex. So when you open up the wallet page or whatever, all your account balances from every chain in the system, plus whatever you might have deposited, some Bitcoin or some Litecoin or some US dollars, maybe some euros, that'll all show up in your wallet page. We're doing a lot of stuff with that I'll get to in just a minute. But we have a lot of applications planned for this. We're going to start with user-created media platforms, blogs, videos, photos, music, podcasts, all kinds of stuff like that. Once we're done with that, we'll move into the gig economy platforms. This is similar to Uber or Upwork. The way we're utilizing now, I don't know if you'd really call Airbnb a gig economy platform, but our Airbnb alternative will work very similar to the way our gig economy platforms work. So one of the ones I'm most excited about, being a tech nerd developer, is our code collaboration and repository, similar to GitHub, that we're working on. It has a lot of benefits to that. And one of the ones that other people are more excited about is we figured out a way to even put blockchain into video games. So there's a lot we can do with that too. And I'll discuss all of that in just a moment. So first, the EasyDex exchange. There will be a simple interface embedded in all the user interfaces in the EasyLife system. So whichever platform you're on, you'll be able to click over, and there will be a very, right now with the EasyDex, it has We have to have all the function on the EasyDex exchange, But for these others, it'll be a much simplified interface where you'll be able to trade your earnings on any of these platforms for whatever you like to. And we're creating an automatic settling feature, which will allow, so users, they can say, okay, I want I don't want to have to deal with all these tokens and everything. I want, just put everything into US dollars, right? So it'll automatically exchange whatever you get in the US dollars. Now when we do the marketplace and stuff, and some of these other things, you'll actually be able to pay with whatever you have. So you'll be able to pay with Bitcoin, Litecoin. Say you have some coins from a video you made that you collected. You can pay for your ride on our ride sharing platform, utilizing those tokens, while the driver gets paid in USD. And it just automatically exchanges it for you. So that'll really aid in, that'll help a lot of people. When we create the marketplace, it'll allow to easily market to the whole world, pretty much. Obviously you still got to worry about shipping and stuff. We haven't got to that yet, but we probably will. So, and all of this actually helps establish a fair market price for each asset based on demand. So, since the majority of people will probably be using the auto settle feature, which basically just goes onto the exchange and fills the order based on what's on there, the more in-demand stuff, will have a higher price. And all of these chains, we always put a lot of thought into how to give these tokens value, like what will be their purpose, how will they be used, why will people need them to do stuff. And so by doing that and doing this auto settle feature, it kind of takes the speculation out of the game, as much as you ought to see almost what we value as a society by the price of each individual token. So, and this helps promote widespread adoption of cryptocurrencies because it automates everything. The users don't, it flattens that learning curve completely. Users don't need to really know about it. It all happens behind the scenes. So it'll work just like everything else always worked, yet they're utilizing cryptocurrency, and it is promoting widespread adoption. All right, I want to talk about Easy Social a little bit. Easy Social is what we call a true social media platform. It's not a blogging site. It's social media. The rewards are based on your engagement on the platform. One of the things that it do is it aggregates all the content from all the media chains. I'm going to go into how that functions in just a minute, but I'll tell you a little bit more about it. The way it works is things that you post on Easy Social, you get paid. You don't get paid per se for those. You get influence in the system. So your vote has more weight in the system the more you post on there, and you can power down and sell those, and people can buy them and increase their influence on it. Have to make it attractive to investors. But the poster rewards, and this actually allows us to, because of this, we don't have to worry so much about copyright stuff. You'll be able to just share links to other content because you're not getting paid for it. You're increasing your influence in the platform, but you're not getting paid for sharing somebody else's content. Now, this is how we reward interaction, is through curation rewards. When you vote on something, that's curating it, because it'll share it with other people, your other people on your friends list or followers or however you want to call it. And that will actually get you monetary rewards. Those are paid out in a silver pegged asset. It's pegged to so the token is more or less pegged to the price of 1 gram of silver. And we did that for a lot of reasons. Precious metals tend to hold their value better than any fiat currency or anything historically. So we really wanted something that would be stable in price. Now, as I said, silver pegged, not silver backed asset. Maybe at some point we will make some silver coins that you can buy with your rewards. But this is actually backed by the social tokens, and you can convert them, but it maintains the peg because you can convert the silver asset into the social asset that you could power up and increase your influence, and vice versa. And we release a certain amount of the silver pegged asset based on the price of the social asset. Yeah, I don't want to get too into technical details because otherwise this video will be incredibly long. I'll probably end up doing a video specifically about that. And I was just trying to get more of a high level overview in this one, but I did want to touch upon it. All right, so this is an example of how the user created media works, how they work together. So we'll say a photographer takes a photo and they post it on the photography chain. And when they're posting it, they can give other people the option, the permission to use it for stuff, in their posts or whatever. So a blogger, he's writing a blog post, and he's searching for a photo to illustrate his blog post, and he comes across the photographer's photo, says, oh, this is the perfect one to go on my blog post. So he uses that photo to illustrate his blog post. When he does that, for one thing, it'll automatically credit the photographer. It'll say, this photographer took this photo, But there's even more benefits to it then too. So the post will go into the blogger's followers' feeds on both the blogging chain and on Easy Social. So if you just are looking for articles to read by your favorite bloggers, then you can go to the interface for the blogging platform, and you'll find a list of articles, the recent articles by your favorite bloggers. However, you can also go on Easy Social, and while there'll be your typical like Twitter style feed, but there'll also be, if you're one of your favorite bloggers had posted onto the blogging chain, then that blog post will appear in your Easy Social feed. You'll be able to open up and read it right there. So when users see the blog post in their feeds, they'll upvote it, right? So it upvotes it on Easy Social when you upload it, but it also upvotes it on the blogging chain, no matter where you vote it from. It'll also upvote it on the blogging chain, plus it'll upvote the photographer's post for the photo on the photo chain. So the rewards will be spread out that way so that each one, so the photographer will get rewarded just from people using it to illustrate their photos, because it'll be through the upvotes that the blog post received. And that's one of the things we want to do, is providing options. So, okay, the photographer, when they post it, they can say, sure, you can use this in your post, and I'll get the upvote, but I also want, say, 2 or 3% of your rewards from the blogging chain when you use it. So at the time, every week, because you'll be able to vote on posts forever in our system, but they'll pay out once a week. So at the end of the week, the rewards, the photographer will get rewarded for the photo, the blogger will get rewarded for the blog post. Both will earn influence in Easy Social. And if the photographer said it, they'll get a portion of the rewards from the blog post and the blogging chain too. Before I go into the gig economy chains, I wanted to touch, because we wanted to do a lot of things for different content creators too. So, podcasters and video makers and stuff. So one of the things that you'll be able to do, this is pretty common actually. A lot of podcasters, they'll have the first hour of their podcast will be open to everybody, and subscribers will get another hour. So this will help, like, so say for podcasting, so for somebody who did that, you'll be able to subscribe on the system, so you'll be able to pay for their monthly rate or whatever and get all their posts. But you'll also be able to unlock, say it's just one podcast because it has a guest that you really are into, but maybe you're not that into that particular podcast. You'll be able to unlock the second hour of that podcast, just that one too, at a fee. That'll depend on that'll be set by the podcaster, the content creator themselves. But I just wanted to mention that before I move into that's just an example of some of the ways we want to make sure to bring value to the coins that we produce. So now I'll talk about the gig economy chains. So the gig economy is one of the fastest growing sectors of anything in the world right now, actually. Gig economy platforms, they connect service providers with customers. Like Uber, they connect drivers with people who need a ride. Things like Upwork or Fiverr. Say you need a website built, and you can say, hey, I need this website built, and then people who build websites can, it connects them. So one of the benefits of the gig economy chains for both the service providers and the customers will be, there's no centralized company to take a percentage for being the middleman. The chains, they pay their block producers inherently in the system, so they don't need to take a portion of the service provider's fee. This will actually reduce costs for the customers while increasing the pay for the workers. um, since they could probably split the difference and everything, you know. The way it'll work, users will be able to select providers based on their reputation. Each service provider in each of these chains will have a reputation score based on their reviews from other people that have used their services. The service providers will be able to set their own rates, you know, which some of the centralized ones you can, some of the centralized ones you can't. But users will select their providers based on reputation, rate, and then application-specific data, which, you know, that's going to be different for each platform. If it's the ride-sharing app, then it'll be their distance from you right now, you know. While if it's something more, you're looking on a chain for the somebody to build a website, then you'll be able to search them based on their skills set. You know, maybe you need somebody who's really good back-end programmer in PHP, so you know, search for developers that have experience in PHP, something along that lines. Service providers and customers will be able to rate each other. So, say on the ride-sharing app, right? So I can look at it and be like, so the users will select their driver based on their reputation. You're like, oh, okay, this guy's got nothing but 5-star reviews, nothing but good things to say about him. He has a really high reputation score, but he might charge $1.25 a mile. Well, this other guy doesn't have quite as high of a reputation score, but he only charges $1. While this other guy, he has a really low reputation score. He's only charging 25 cents, but I don't want to use him because he doesn't seem to be a very nice guy. Well, and the same goes for the service providers will be able to rate the customers too. So if say on the ride sharing app and somebody's looking for for a ride, and the driver might look and be like, oh man, everybody they've ever ridden with has had a complaint. This is the rider from hell here, so I'm not going to pick them up. I don't need their $1.25 a mile that much, or whatever. That's just an example, you know. And they can refuse it based on that too. So, and automatic instant payment. You don't have to worry if they're going to stiff you on your fare or whatever. They won't even connect you unless you're going to have enough to pay them. And like I mentioned before, you'll be able to pay in whatever you have, and the service provider will be able to get paid in whatever they like to. So say, this is really good. Say, for one thing, it'll help market your skills to a global marketplace. Say, a guy in India, he builds websites, right? I mean, he doesn't want to get paid in dollars, because they don't accept dollars in India, right? So he wants to get paid in rupees, right? So, but their customers in America, they only have US dollars. So since it'll automatically, they'll be able to pay in dollars, and the other guy will and the Indian guy will get paid in rupees. There's no problem there. And it helps with the adoption of cryptocurrency, because say you really believe in cryptocurrency. You buy Bitcoin and you deposit Bitcoin into your account, and you want to pay with everything using Bitcoin or Litecoin. Well, you can do that. And your driver or whatever, you buy something off of the market, something like that, you're paying in Bitcoin or Litecoin. let's say they live in Italy and they need euros because they need to pay their electric bill or whatever. Well, they can get paid in euros. So it works out good for everybody this way. And that's it for today. I will be making some more videos soon, but I just wanted to give that high-level overview, and we'll talk to you all again soon.